afternoon and welcome to Artists of Color. I am Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host, and thank you for joining me. Today my guest is Dr. Catherine Constant. I want to say she's an educator and a spiritual advisor for Lady Wisdom Speaks. Yeah. And Dr. Constant, I am so glad you're with me today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You and I met, I guess maybe about a month ago.
Yes.
You were here again doing another show, and you and I met then, and you talked to me, and and you told me about you being also an artist, and that of course piqued my interest because of course Artists of Color is about artists of color. And I was really interested and excited, and I really wanted to have you on the show. So what I'd like you to do, audience, a little bit about you, how you got started, what Lady Wisdom is all about.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you, Elaine, for inviting me to your show. I'm very happy to be here, and Lady Wisdom Speaks is my company. I started it actually 2 years ago because formerly I was a principal of the Holmes Elementary School here in Boston Public School.
Really?
Yes, and also I started to work in town. At the time we were down in Court Street. And I was working in the special education department as an executive director then. But then with the shifting of administration, an opportunity came up for me to move on, and I decided that I wanted to start and do something else because I'd been in the system for 32 years. And I said, well, about time for me to try something different, you know? And so I'm a minister as well. I'm a minister at Pleasant Hill Missionary Baptist Church with Reverend Copeland.
Yes.
Yes. So my mom, she's a saint to me, and she said to me, you are now in a transitional time in your life, and you really need to get some wisdom as to what you need to do next. She says, why don't you read the Book of Proverbs? So I said, okay, I'll just do that. I started reading the Book of Proverbs in the Message Bible. And in it, I found out that wisdom is a lady, and she's called Lady Wisdom. And as I started reading it, I wanted to take down notes. I wanted to journal what I was hearing because I was starting to get a lot of revelation and thoughts were coming. And so I decided I'll start a blog, and I did.
Nice.
Yes, I went to Blogspot, signed up, started my blog. I did it anonymously because I didn't know where I was going with this. Right, yes. So then I got started, and I ended up creating Lady Wisdom Speaks, my book, which is a devotional journal. But then I ended up writing another one, Lady Wisdom Gives a Party, which is of it. And it has really taken me on a journey, a journey of excitement and love, just pushing forward with wisdom. And I find that our society today, that we do need.
I agree. I agree. Are you originally? Because it doesn't sound like it. But are you originally a Bostonian?
Yes, yes. My parents are from Montserrat, the island.
I could tell. I could tell. No, you have a little bit of that in you when you speak. So I could tell, which is one of the reasons I asked if you were from Boston.
Yes,
I could tell.
I was born right here in Boston, right on Ruthven Street.
Really?
Yes, off of Humboldt Avenue.
Oh my goodness.
This is my neighborhood.
Sure is. Mine too. Amazing, amazing. So when you started your company, how did you begin to transition?
Well,
besides reading the Book of Proverbs.
Yes, so I read the Book of Proverbs, and I just felt inside me that I wanted to, actually I tried to apply to other positions, and it just seemed like it wasn't working out for me. Okay. And I knew it was the Lord actually who was involved in this. He wanted me to work on this. Yeah. And I got a prophetic, someone spoke into my life, and she said, I think that you have something you're not sharing that needs to be shared with others, and that the world really needs what you have to say. Because sometimes, we read, we write, and we paint, we do work, and we say, oh, nobody's going to be interested in what we're saying.
Right.
But this woman came in and she said, yes, what you're doing is important, and there are people out there that need what you have. And so I prayed about it, and I went out with faith, and I decided to publish my books to start this work. But also, I love to garden. And that's where, yes, I do, yes. I love to garden. And so in the garden, I found myself meditating in the garden.
Oh,
and that is what brought about the artwork.
Okay.
And also a lot of other things. I have a program here on BNN too called Lady Wisdom Speaks, by the way. And it's on Saturdays at 11:30 in the morning. Yes, and so I do gardening as well. But in the garden, I find that I'm able to meditate in the garden and pray in the garden. And from the garden, I was able to create more writings as well as the artwork.
All right. I saw your artwork as it was all being put up, so my audience could see and I could see, and they're absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
What made you decide?
Well, I, as a teacher in the Boston Public Schools, and I had a special education class, a special education teacher, I would come home and I'd be a little stressed sometimes.
I wonder.
So I started painting, and I actually painted with the children. I found that painting was so relaxing with the kids that I needed to paint for myself.
For yourself.
And I started painting and doing, first with watercolors.
Okay.
And then I happened to get some African print, and I started doing some creative work with that. So multimedia, yes, with the paints and with the material and so forth. And that the shoe kind of is an example of that I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love that shoe.
Thank you.
I really do. Reminds me of a princess.
Yes, Lady Wisdom.
There you go.
That's her shoe. She loves shoes.
I guess she does.
But I found that with the kids that was a really great outlet for them because they were struggling, many of them, with academic side, the logic side, with reading and writing and math. But when I gave them paints and artwork, gave them things to build and to create, that it really helped them to express themselves, and they found success in the art. I started placing their artwork all throughout the school. And it made the other children jealous because they wanted to participate in art as well. But it made children shine. And I find that people who have a difficulty with logic and with reading and writing, that if they would go into painting and creating, that will help stimulate their brain and make it easier for them to then gain the knowledge that they need so that they can read and do different things.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited. We have a view of your YouTube videos on, and we're going to start with one of them now, and we're going to let my audience see, and we'll talk about them, and hopefully we'll just afternoon.
Yes.
So please, we're going to be going to one of Dr. Constance's videos from Lady Wisdom. So have a good one and watch, and we'll be discussing them later.
Hello, and welcome to Lady Wisdom Speaks Academy Art Gallery. My name is Dr. Catherine Constant, and I am the author of the book Lady Wisdom. And here is Lady Wisdom. She is strong and capable. And she loves to walk through her garden where she meditates. She also likes to paint and look at the birds and the butterflies. She meditates as she looks into her pond. Shoes. She has a large collection of different styles. And her daughter, Lady Grace, is full of love and light. She walked through the paths of her garden and just see what nature has produced. Look at these beautiful flowers. Here is another daughter of Lady Wood. She's growing up strong and beautiful. In the garden of Lady Wisdom, you can find strength and you can find joy. Visit my website, ladywisdomspeaks.weebly.com, for more information. To purchase art, click on the link at my website to society6.com or redbubble.com. Thank you for your contribution. Be blessed. Bye.
Thank you, and welcome back to Artists of Color. I am Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host. And again, we have Dr. Catherine Constant, who is Lady Wisdom. Thank you. That was an amazing video.
Thank you.
I was reading a little bit about you, and I noticed that you have created programs around issues. What types of issues have you created programs around?
Well, I didn't necessarily create the programs, but I've been working with the Homeless Educational Resource Network here in Boston, with the Boston Public Schools. And at that time, we started working with children who were experiencing homelessness. And so myself and the director, we were able to program with Suffolk University, in which they allow students, college students, to come in and tutor and work with students within the system. And the program has been very successful. At this point, it's going to be expanding. Miss William so far has retired, but she's going to we're going to be working on a project to continue that work, because
beautiful.
To me that is so
That's
important. Yeah, education
very...
is extremely important to me.
Yes, it is.
Of course, being a principal and working in the school system for so long, I want to make sure that our children receive a great education, at least do my part, or continue to do my part with that. Yes, yes. And I want to give a plug too for the schools. I would love if the schools would continue to add art programs and creative programs for students. And while
to me, that's so important. That is very, very important.
Yes, and in our society today and in our communities, our children have been experiencing a lot of trauma. And while I was at Grove Hall Library during my book talk that I had a couple of weeks back, they had Healing After Trauma, how to deal with bad things that happen in your family, in your community. And it's an issue that I think we can help the children if they're allowed to have the arts. When I was a principal, I had very special arts come in and work with the kids, my special needs students. And I made sure that I had an art teacher present. And those students that struggled with different issues, they thrived in art with the art teacher.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the music teacher. You know, they were able to express themselves. I want to give a plug for that if we can continue the arts in our we can continue the arts in our schools.
Absolutely.
In the Boston Public Schools.
And it's very important, because I remember as a child growing up, when I was in Boston Public Schools, you know, as you know, at an early age, we had art.
Yes.
We had music. And it was, you know, it was helpful, because to me it helped to calm the spirit. And art and music can calm the spirit. That I know. Yes. You know, so I would love to see that. I would love to see that program flourish. And I'd love to see it be in all the schools, especially violence that's going on in our communities now. Yes. And, you know, our children need that. You know, our children need that. I wanted to talk about this piece because it was in the video. Yes. And is garden. Or did you just create that?
I created it.
You did?
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you.
It reminded me of a park.
Yes, yes. I do have a garden. And on my website, actually on my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel called Lady Wisdom Speaks Academy, and that was shown from my YouTube channel.
Exactly.
But I also have a garden channel as well. It's called Catherine's Garden, LWS, and it's on YouTube as well. And that is just specifically for gardening. So I love gardening. During the winter months, as you know, our gardens, it's
winter.
It's winter. So I found that I was longing to be in the garden. I kept getting these visions of the garden and what I wanted to see there, and I started planning. And this is what came out of it.
That's how that came to
the
be.
arts.
It's beautiful. I
you.
love it. My daughter's a gardener.
Oh, she is?
Yes, she is.
Oh, that's nice.
And she loves her garden. Absolutely. She plants flowers.
Yeah.
She plants in the spring and the summer. She grows her own vegetables.
Excellent.
She's been doing it now for about 8 years.
Wow.
And she loves doing it. Her and my grandson, her youngest, they do this together. And they just like have an time.
I'm glad you brought this up, because that's another thing that I think we need to do in our communities, really to build the gardening piece.
Yes.
And there's the Clark, there's a farm, Clark's Farm on Norfolk Street, and they have gardening there too if people are interested in gardening. And we can grow your own vegetables and learn to grow your own fruit and so forth. And actually, on that note too, I'm going to have another book talk.
Yes.
And I call it the garden party, in which I'm going to give a demonstration on how to plant and how to use planting and meditation and art and gardening and put it all together to bring, because we're all
going to happen?
This is going to happen.
Is that the one that's going to be in June?
Yes.
I'm coming to that. I will be there for that.
For June 2nd.
Okay.
At 2 p.m., Lady Wisdom gives a party. It's a book talk.
That's the party
discussion.
Lady Wisdom's going to give.
Yes, a garden party. And it's going to be based on this book that I wrote, the second one.
Yes.
But it's also going to gardening and planting, because we need to meditate. We need to get calm. I think that there's so much trauma happening in our world. People are anxious, and with the hectic lifestyle that we've seen with social care and all of the other things, that we need the medium of arts and painting. We need quiet places to paint and meditate and think. And where else but the garden?
I agree with you.
Yes.
There. I definitely agree with you there. I would love to have a garden. I don't have one yet. I would like to talk more about your artwork.
Yes.
Is that Lady Wisdom?
No, that's Lady Prosperity.
Lady Prosperity.
Yes, I call her
Tell
Lady
me about
Prosperity.
Lady Prosperity. She's beautiful.
Thank you. Lady Prosperity is based on Psalms 1. And it says, blessed is the man or woman that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight or her delight is in the law of the Lord, and in that law doth she meditate day and night. And she shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that shall bring forth his fruit in his season. The leaf shall not wither, and whatsoever she does shall prosper.
I love that.
And with meditating on that verse came Lady Wisdom, Lady Prosperity. And I say, well, she is a sister of Lady Wisdom, and prosperity is what God wants for us. As we meditate and we think about His Word, we have the opportunity to prosper, because we can use wisdom to get us to where we need to go. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
And the child in the garden, she is up tulips, and she's just swinging on the rope and having a great time. And our children have really lost their childhood.
They have. I want to talk more about this, but we're going to take a very short break. We will be back with Dr. Constance shortly. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Hello, and welcome to Lady Wisdom Speaks Academy. My name is Dr. Catherine, and I am the author of the book, Lady Wisdom Speaks. Lady Wisdom Speaks. That is the business side of the Proverbs 31 woman when she made a business of it. She's an entrepreneur and I'm following in her footsteps with that. And so I've taken my artwork and I've put it on two platforms, society6.com and redbubble.com. And Friday 6, I was able then to create this bath mat. And it's so pretty, I don't even want to put it in the bathroom on the floor. If you go to my website, wisdomspeaksacademy.weebly.com, you will see the two different places that you can click, redbubble.com and society6.com website. And when you click society6.com website, you'll see all of my artwork, and then you'll see the picture there, the bath mat, and you can choose that. And these are some of the other items that you can choose with the picture. My package from Society 6 came in, and here it is. And I'm going to open it up for you so that you can see it. See, it came in, and I ordered the bath mat because it was on sale, and it was, I think, like $21 before for it, but then it's my picture, and I said, oh, let me try this out and see how this is going to work. And so as you can see, it's here's the back, and it has this textured back. And here's the information. It's the description, and it says Garden of Joy, Lady Wisdom Speaks by Catherine Constant, bath mat, and it was originally $27.99, but the discount is $9.10, and shipping is $5. So it all came to, the total cost is $20.89, and it says, thank you for your purchase. Visit society6.com. And if there's any problems, they give you the information of where to take it. And here it is. I got a logo here. It says get $5 off on your next order within 30 days. And this is what it looks like. This is it right here. It looks like the picture, my painting. And it's very soft and comfortable, and I'm going to use it. It's a bath mat, and I could put it on the wall, I think, as an artwork. It looks really, really good. The texture looks good, and I'm quite excited about this. I think this is a really good thing to see your artwork when you're putting it on the floor. But it could possibly go on the wall as well, I think. The colors are rich and vibrant. It looks quite alive. I don't know if you can see it clearly there. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this. Wow, this is great. I'm happy to share it with you. Now you can go to society6.com. But better yet, go to my website, ladywisdomspeaksacademy.weebly.com, and you will press on the, or click on the Society 6 click. You'll see it there, and then all of my paintings and artwork that's on that platform will come up. You can just browse through. Check some of those hearts now. Click some of those hearts. Give me some hearts. Give me some love. Yeah, thank you. This is an opportunity for you to get a little piece of wisdom. Hallelujah. You can be in the garden with me. Hallelujah. With joy and peace. You can experience it by actually purchasing, going to that site and look and supporting the work of Lady Wisdom Speaks Academy. Yeah, it costs money to do this, and time and effort, And so your support, it will be greatly appreciated. If you can go on Society 6, hallelujah, and redbubble.com. I'll leave information in the...
Welcome back to Artists of Color. I am Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host. Thank you for coming back with us. And my guest is Dr. Catherine Constant from Lady Wisdom Speaks. Thank you very much. I still love that mat. I love that mat. But I wanted to talk with you more about this particular art piece. What is she swinging on a rope, or is it a vine? Looks like a vine.
It's a vine. It's a rope vine. It's I saw. She's having fun in the garden. She's being able to play and swing. You know, there are times when when we were little kids, we had a pear tree in my backyard, and my brothers put a swing on the branch, but there was a time when the branch had when the swing had come off, but the rope was still there. So we would hang on the swing on the rope
just swing on the rope
back from the pear tree. So those thoughts had come to mind as I was painting this and just having fun in the garden, in our backyard. My father used to plant corn and different things in the backyard. And we had this pear tree that everybody loved. They would come and raid our pear tree.
Raid the pear tree, I knew it.
But it was fun because all the neighborhood children would come over and we'd just swing on the swings and just have a great time. Brought back memories of that time. And I love tulips, and this is tulip season. So.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
You know what I noticed? That both of these pieces that you remind me of you. Did you notice that?
No.
They do. I noticed them. They do. They remind me of you.
Oh, thank you.
Your features.
Oh,
it looks like your features are in both of these pieces.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yes.
I kept looking and I kept looking, and then I looked at you and I said, yep, that's exactly what I'm seeing.
Oh.
How long have you been doing art?
Well, I started, I've always been painting. I've always been doing, in high school, I took a couple of art classes then, and throughout college, I dabbled a little bit with paints. But as I said, it was that time with the kids because they were painting, and so I started painting a little bit myself. But in 2000, early 2000, I actually had an art exhibit at the Roslindale Library and all Jamaica Plain Library, and I started selling I started distributing my art, giving it away a lot to people, to my teachers, and just really enjoying the art. But then there came a time, I think this was in 2012 or so, around that time, that I really started painting more seriously, doing the oils and the acrylics.
So you're doing
yes,
that now.
yes, and with both pictures, I think they're with the water-based acrylic paints. And it's just been a lot of fun being able to express my art. But with the Society 6, an entrepreneurial piece, and that's what I really want to share with everyone and with other artists, because I want to be here to let people know, especially women, that we can be everything that we want, that we can pursue things. And I think that was my mission for Lady Wisdom Speaks, is to empower women. I believe strongly that this is the time for women empowerment. And one of the things that Lady Wisdom is that she is an entrepreneur. She hung out with God in the beginning. If you look in Genesis, you'd find that she was with God when he created. He said, "There be," and there was light. He's the first entrepreneur, and he's the first creator in creating this world. And so she decided, Lady Wisdom, came up with the Proverbs 31 woman entrepreneur, and she started a business. And I want to encourage other women out there who have art, who may want to put their work on display, who would want to start their own business. Well, Society 6 offers a platform where you can display your work. People can go there and then they can see what they like. And you can support your work.
They can support your work.
Yes, and that way you don't have to, like with the bath mat. Now, if I had to come up with this bath mat myself, that would have been, that would have been a problem, me trying to print it and so forth. But Society 6, they do all of that, and they can make cards for you, they can take your prints, your work, and they can create framed art and so forth. And it's a way to empower women, because as I said, this is the time for women empowerment. This is our time. This is our season. And we need to go on out there and take our ideas, take our creative force, and create for our families. Yes. You could tell that I'm passionate about this.
I can tell you, I gotta admit, you sound like me, because remember we were talking earlier, and I was telling you about my women's project? See? So I understand you. I understand. And art is part of that.
Yes, it
Art
is.
is a very strong part of that. And I learned that when I started my publication.
Yeah.
And in the company. And I realized going out and seeing so many women artists displaying their work. And not only just visual art, but also stage production, poetry. And women have a lot to say.
Yes.
And that's what's so important. So I understand that clearly. I'm one of those.
Yes.
And you're one of those. If you haven't noticed, we have a lot of producers right here in this studio that are women.
Yes.
A lot of them. And that's important. They need to be able to, and we need to be able to get our young women to express in a positive way so that they can do art, they can write, they can do stage productions. So I get it. I understand it clearly.
Yes.
I
think it's a healing for our community.
Yes, it is.
Our community needs to heal, and we need to become self-sufficient. And this is one way, through our art. I find that art and music and writing, we can, and nowadays it's not as difficult as it was before. But, I think if we can find sponsorships or people like this, BNN is such a blessing because it exposes other people to express their art.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to continue here, but I know shortly we're going to have another break and another one of your videos, which I'm excited about. I mean, I love them. They're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. I love this shoe. Explain this shoe.
Well,
tell me about this piece.
That piece, that's one of my more early pieces. When I was at the Pauline A. Shaw School, I started doing my art there. I was a teacher at the Pauline A. Shaw School.
Where are they located?
It's right on Norfolk Street, Norfolk and Morton, at the corner of Norfolk and Morton. My special education class. And I was working there, and this woman, she saw my art, and she says, "I want you to make me a shoe." And I'm like, "Make you a shoe? What do you mean by that?" And make me a shoe. And it came to me, take the material, because I had these scraps of material.
Yes.
And I started designing the shoe. And then I came up with the shoe, and it's Lady Shoe. So even from that time, I had been thinking about this, not even realizing that I was thinking about Lady Wisdom.
We're going to take a break and come back.
Okay.
See you on page.
This next segment of the book talk, we're going to be talking about what I like to call the implantation of wisdom. So you might be wondering, what is the implantation of wisdom? It's basically the meditation and the memorization of wisdom. this next segment of the book talk, we're going to be talking about what I like to call the implantation of wisdom. So you might be wondering, what is the implantation of wisdom? It's basically meditation and the memorization of wisdom. Because what she says, what Lady Wisdom says in Proverbs is that you should carve his initials into your heart, which basically means that you need to carve his words, his chains into your heart. And the only way you can actually do that is if you listen to it, you memorize it, you study it, you exercise it. So that's the only way you're really going to get wise, is if you exercise the words and put them in your heart. So that is what the implantation of wisdom is all about.
Do you have a crayon?
This is a little bit, my mom actually has coloring books, activities for people to use. You can implant wisdom into your heart. So what you do is implant, imprint, employ. All right, so this right here, this is the implanted seed, okay? So this is a seed of Proverbs. And I'm going to read it real quick. It says, love forgets mistakes, nagging about them parts the best of friends. That is the seed of wisdom. So with this seed, we're going to implant the seed in the ground of our hearts, okay? So how we do that is we say the seed out loud to yourselves, and then we're going to use your coloring, and with every petal, you try to memorize the same. So it's a meditation and a memorization of the wisdom, so it goes into your heart. So with every petal, try to memorize. You're going to say the seed, which is the love Bible verse right here. You're going to say it to yourself. So everyone say it to yourself, like read it to yourself. Then after you say it to yourself, you color a petal. And while you're coloring the petal, because it takes a little while to color the petal, you try to memorize it. And you're not going to memorize it the first time you try to do it. But if you keep doing it, you'll realize that once you start coloring, you'll know the words that you're supposed to say.
Nagging about them is the best of friends.
So, exactly. And
You all look so good.
and it brings you back into a place, because the thing with coloring, like it allows the words to come in and actually mean something to you. So you just keep coloring, keep saying those seeds. Keep saying those seeds. But see, that's what you have to exercise it. Like, because if you keep doing it, especially if you do it at home, there'll be no pressure. Right. Because I feel like everybody's like, oh, I gotta hurry up. Yeah. But when you're at home, you can just do it at home. Say it. Yeah. Try to memorize it. And then it's an exercise. You get the word, you get the color, you get to relax. It has some nice things to do. Get nice and essential. Just relax.
It's part of like the self-care. And everyone is, because love is part of the fruit of the spirit, right? Love. And
I'm looking for red for love. There's no red in here.
no.
That's not red.
What's the closest?
I got pink.
No, I have pink too, but no one's.
Come on, don't.
How come you got red right there? That was the one you used? That's the red right there? That's very red, yeah.
Yeah, it looks perfect.
And then it says, love forgets mistakes.
Nagging about them parts the best of friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could you apply this? Can you
every
apply
day.
this in your life? Would you be able to apply this? Love forgets mistakes, but nagging about them parts the best.
So you see, this is a seed of wisdom, but if you buy the book, you'll get a whole garden of wisdom. Acres filled.
But it's a way for you to be able to And in the packet, I provide not the crayons, but I actually give you the pencils, which is even more detailed. You can actually be relaxed doing that. And a sharpener and a eraser, just in case you feel that you're uncomfortable with that, you can erase it and start again and fix it, you know. But that's what this is. And I give you a nice kit so that you can put it. So this is your special kit. You put it by the side of your bed. You want to relax. You don't want to think about things. You just want to just be relaxed so that you can just color and enjoy it. But what makes this special, is because of the words, like what.
Yeah, it's basically about imprinting those words into your heart, carving those initials into your heart. It's exactly what they say in Proverbs. It's all about making sure you know wisdom. So, because there's a saying like forgive but don't forget. That's like a very popular saying, to forgive but not to forget. But if you look at the actual Bible verse here, it says love forgets mistakes. And a lot of people are like, yeah, I'll forgive you, but I won't forget.
Yeah.
But that's not right. That's not what the Bible says.
You can forgive and don't forget.
That's not what the Bible says. Forgive mistakes. Forget mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's another way that wisdom is different from Google, for instance, because that's a little forget that. You forget it, and it needs to be in here so you can use it.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about implanting the word in your heart, so that when the situation arises, you can think twice. You don't have to act the way you used to act, like
just start
getting
nagging.
into that.
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you so?
Didn't you do that last time? But last time you did this and this and this and this. You're supposed to forgive and forget it.
So that is that. But now I have. Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
That was wonderful.
Thank you and welcome back to Artists of Color, and I am Hall-Corbin, your host. And this afternoon, my guest is Dr. Catherine Constant from Lady Wisdom Speaks.
Yeah.
I've been having a great time. I really have. I mean, learning and your artwork. You know, we did leave off, and we were talking about this shoe.
Yes.
And you were saying there was a woman who asked you about making her a shoe.
Yes, she had asked me to make the shoe, and and it was really, she challenged me to actually push the envelope, because I was just doing watercolor painting. But this allowed me to try something different. And I want to encourage people to think outside the box. Now, don't box yourself into one type of thing, but rather, with the coloring that they had just watched here, sometimes you need to color outside the lines.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you need to express yourself, be you. And art, activity, that's the opportunity for you to express yourself and to find out who you are and what you really enjoy doing. And art allows you, it gives you that safe space, that opportunity to really express yourself, be you. Be you.
I agree. And you mentioned safe space.
Yes.
Because art can be a safe space.
Yes.
And it depends on what type of art. Painting, writing, music, poetry. It can all be a safe space because you have to focus, and it comes from the heart. You know, it comes from the heart, and that's a really important thing to me. You know, I like safe space. I really do. And I really love your work. I like what you do. I'm coming to your gardening because I want to learn about gardening and how you're going to put that workshop together. I'm really interested, so I won't miss that one.
Yes.
That one I will not miss. And I'm just excited. I really love your work. I really do. When she challenged you about the shoe,
Yes.
what did she tell you she wanted?
She just said, I want you to paint or draw for me or come up with a shoe, because she wanted to redesigning her home. She wanted to add new things to it. And I guess that was her motif, was the shoe. The design. So I created for her a couple of shoes. And
I love that one.
I had two for myself. And, you know, but it's just, I liked the fact that she was willing to see me as a person who could create for her, you know, and
Yes.
she valued
That
my
creativity.
creativity. And I think that that's what we need to do as a community, to start start appreciating one another. Like your
Value.
ma'am here.
Yes.
Yes, it's really something that we need to do as a community, and start looking for ways to create more creative opportunities for each other to express ourselves.
Tell folks about this Lady Wisdom Gives a Party on the 22nd
Well-
of June. Tell folks about this. They should come. Tell us about it.
Yes, well, on June 22nd, 2019, at 2 p.m. at the Grove Public Library here in Boston, at 41 Geneva Avenue, Dorchester, we're going to have a book talk discussion with light refreshments, but also I want to provide an opportunity to show how easy it is to create that safe space, that meditative environment. And so I'm going to create a little gardening, and you know, pots. You can garden with pots. You could go to one of those places and buy some. Well, you know, get some
little pots
of plants and flowers,
Yes.
and put it together, and then create a space, even like how it's designed here in the studio, and as their safe space to color, to art, to do art, and meditate. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about. Then also I'm going to show and provide another art activity, you know, where you can create your own book. You could create your own activity book and use that to share with yourself and with others. And you were talking about that too, Elaine, that you have been coloring and using art.
Yeah,
Yes,
I do.
yes, yes.
Not as much as I would like to. I don't know if there's a friend of mine who is an amazing artist. Her name is X. She has what's called the Sparks Artmobile. And she goes around to different areas within the community. And folks can come, children, adults can come out. She sets up tables, and they can come out and they can create their own art. I've had the pleasure of doing a couple of pieces. I think I have 3 of them in my house that I've done myself, and it's fun. But with me, I'm like very focused when I get going.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't want it that way. I like it this way. No, I want it that way. And I'm learning that I need to be more just calm enough to just let it flow.
Yeah, and that's what the art presents for you. I wrote here down on my paper, are you feeling stressed and overwhelmed by your busy, hectic day? To experience the peace and joy of the garden, come and discover ways to relax and meditate wisdom words. Life is unique, and it requires us to think deeply about what is important and what's not. This book, my book, Lady Wisdom Gives a Party.
Nope, let folks see this book.
Yes.
This is Lady Wisdom Gives a Party.
Yes, and also the artwork and different activities that we're going to have with expression, meditation, and time to just really relax and focus and allow, you know,
It to just flow.
yes, just
Let it
go and
flow.
enjoy and just relax, because our world is so full of trauma, and I think that we need to start a healing. I decree a healing in the city of Boston.
Oh yeah, we need that.
Yes, I decree that the trauma and all of these things that have been keeping our children and our people down, even adults down, that we're going to be freed by doing meditative things through arts, through creativity, to be like our Creator.
I love
And
that.
create. And I admonish you and I encourage you, going out there and color. Just get some crayons, go and get some pencils, and just doodle
work,
and
some paper,
and just create. Do your own work, do your own art. And also create your own free space, that quiet space where you can meditate and where you can just relax.
That's right. Just relax.
Just relax.
Yep. Hey, makes me want to just relax.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, I've loved having you here today. A great afternoon with you.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna miss the 22nd.
Thank you.
But I want to know when you're going to do more workshops, where you're going to do them. I think that you and I need to talk because we're talking about collaboration and doing things. I want to thank Dr. Catherine Constant from Lady Wisdom Speaks for being with me this afternoon. And thank you, my television audience, my community, for being with us today on Artists of Color. Have a great afternoon.